Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Leah. If you are not new here, nice to see you again. As you can see by the title of today's video, I'm gonna explain a little bit about my car accident trauma or PTSD. I don't know how else to explain it. I think it's so funny because what inspired me to do this video is a tweet that I just saw today. I figured I'd talk about it because this is something serious. So the very first accident that I was in was actually, no, not even last year. Last year already, 2020 was my second accident. The first accident I had been in was in 2019. I was living with my tia at the time, and we had went to a mountain to hike. I'm so sorry, tia, like if you're watching this, I'm sorry for putting this information out there, but I want to be honest. Well, she was texting and driving, and I think it's so crazy because this is what happened. We were on our way up, we got onto the freeway, and she was on her phone. And I had jokingly said, yes, I was looking forward to dying today, in a jokingly manner, which I shouldn't have joked about. But she had said something like, oh, shut up, you're a bad driver, you're slow, or something like that. And I was like, okay, you know. So anyway, we hiked. On our way back, she was on her phone, and we were gonna go back onto the freeway to head back home. And she seemed pretty like frustrated at the time. Anyway, she had put it down, and when she had put it down, there was a car in front of us that had stopped, and I seen that, and I felt her brake. Obviously she broke really hard, and I looked at my rearview mirror and saw the truck right in back of us slam into us, and I had like whiplash back, and I screamed. I remember myself screaming. And the guy in front of us pulled into the store area. I guess they were going to a hotel right there. And then my tia pulled in right in back of them, and the car in back of us pulled right in back of us. And the guy in front of us was saying, oh, that wasn't an illegal turn. I turned, it's meant for me to turn. And I didn't know what was going on. I just knew like there was a couple people in the wrong, not just the person in front of us. And while the person in back of us was like, I think he had said something like, I didn't see the lights, or it was so sudden, I'm sorry, a long day at work, stuff like that. And I remember getting out of the car, and I was just like, today was not my day, God, thank you. It could have been worse, thank you. I just remember like thinking, God, like it could have been worse. Well, anyway, I did have my seatbelt on. That happened, and I remember my tia asking me, are you okay? Like, are you fine? We went back home. I said I was fine. And because I felt fine, you know, a lot of adrenaline was rushing, and the police asked if we needed ambulance. No one needed any. So my mom had called me. She said, hey, I heard what happened. Are you good? And I was like, Mom, I'm gonna tell you what happened. The next day, my family came up to see me, and they took me out to dinner. I guess they wanted to like celebrate life, you know, like something could have happened. And so nothing happened. And I was aching all day at work. Like I could barely move in certain situations, in certain positions. And as the day went on, it progressed. When I got back to my tia's house where I was living, I remember being at dinner, and I just felt like I couldn't move. Like I couldn't move too much. And my mom took me to the ER. She called my tia, like saying, hey, like she's not feeling good, I'm gonna take her. The next day, that day that I went to the ER, I was driving to work, and I don't know what got into me that I just started freaking out when I would look in my rearview mirror. And from my tia's house to my client's house, it was quick. It wasn't too bad. Oh, it wasn't too bad. It was in the morning. I always like to leave early to be there early so the traffic wasn't bad. And on my way back home, it was bad. I remember looking at cars in back of me, and I started like shaking. My body just started shaking, and I immediately just felt like a car was gonna slam into me. It was so scary. And I remember pulling off the side of the road and crying. I didn't tell my parents this or my tias just because I was like, maybe I'm just being dramatic. I'm the drama queen in my family. I'm just being dramatic. I always like downplay what I feel. I don't know. The next day, the same thing happened. In the morning, on my way to work, I had to pull over because I started crying. I was like having a mini panic attack. I didn't know I was having a panic attack at the time. I didn't like to call it anything. And the day after that, after the third day, I was like fine. I was a little stressed about driving, but I was fine. Fast forward to this year, no, 2020. I was in my second car accident, and with my brand new car, you guys, I only had the car for exactly a week that day that I got into an accident. And so what had happened was I had left my friend Zach's house. We had went to go look for a storage place for his things because he was moving across the states. And I was headed on my way back home, and I think it's so crazy because before heading back home, I wanted to go to another friend's house, and I was like, no, like I don't want to bother them. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go straight home. I'm gonna take the freeway all the way to Tangerine and go home. And it's crazy because I never take the freeway. And well, I decided to take it, and I was really close to Tangerine. I was a little before Orange Grove, and I saw like pieces of tires. You know when tires blow up on the freeway, they're like, the skin is like left on the side. I had seen a few of that, and I was like, oh, before I knew it, I had seen a car pull over. Like, I don't know, it got kind of crazy. And I seen something black in front of me, and I was like, oh, it's a tire. Like, I was thinking about what I was gonna do when it was like my turn to pass by him. Well, two cars in front of me had pulled over. I didn't see them. Before I knew it, this gigantic piece, it's not a rotator, like, I don't know what it's called, but it keeps the wheels turning whenever you're driving. Obviously, it was that piece of vehicle that was on the freeway, and I thought it was a tire. Well, it had come to me. The car in front of me swerved around it, and I thought it was a tire. The next thing I know, this gigantic thing was coming towards my car, and I like hit it. I went over. I was airborne for like a good 2 seconds, and I just remember the seatbelt attacking me. I'll insert a picture right here. It scarred me. But I remember the seatbelt immediately locking on me when I was in the air, and I don't know if my car had like went over it or if it was just like the front that hit it, went up, and then went to the side. I think that's what happened because the rest of my tires were fine. The back of my vehicle, I think it was just a muffler that was messed up, so I might have hit the entire underneath. And yeah, I was up in the air for a little bit. I slammed back down. It said airbag deploy. The airbag did not deploy. The emergency services started calling, and they said, what can we help you with? And I was trying to answer, call 911, call 911. Like, I didn't know what else to do. And they were like, we're sorry, we are unable to understand what you're asking. Basically, that's what they were saying. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, does this car not, like, can this car not call 911? What is this emergency thing for? Fast forward to the next day, I was driving to Tucson with my sister, and I think it was in her car, in my rental already. Maybe it was a couple days later. I was driving at night, and there was this car in front of me that was driving crazy, and I was like, what's going on? You know, like, what are they doing? Well, they immediately went to the right on a street that like you couldn't turn right, you couldn't get off the road, and they were literally halfway on the road, halfway to the side, and like I had to go around it. It was so scary. And the car in back of me had like turned right. I guess they're supposed to turn right when there's like a car blocking traffic. Well, that happened. Thankfully, I didn't get hit. So it was dark. On my way back home, I was driving down to Mammoth, and I could have sworn there was this car in back of me the entire time that was on my tail. And I was like freaking out. I was like, why are they getting so close? Why are they getting so close? I can't even see their lights anymore. My sister was in my passenger side, and she was like, they're not that close. They're not that close. And I was like, look at them. And after some time, she goes, oh yeah, they are getting kind of close. And like, I was freaking out. Like, if they're in a hurry to pass me, why aren't they just passing me? I was freaking out. I was having a panic attack. I didn't even realize it because I hadn't had one in months. Like, I was like very little hyperventilating, and I wanted to cry. I really wanted to cry, and I was trying to hold myself together because I was like, no, like so many thoughts were going through my head while I was driving. I was like, I'm gonna feel embarrassed. My sister's gonna think like, why is she crying? She's so dramatic. I'm just really hard on myself. And so when we got to our house, my sister was like, she didn't mean it in a bad way or anything, but she was like, dude, you're traumatized. And I was like, no, I'm not. I don't know what I said. Oh yeah, I just remember like, what did I say? I said something like, no, I'm not, or like, how are you saying that? I don't know, I can't remember. But I was just, a lot of thoughts were going through my head. I was like, maybe I am traumatized. Maybe I am traumatized. And I remember, sure enough, the next day, I had to drive to work. My commute to work from my home is about an hour and a half. I was driving to work and I was scared. I could not look in my rear views, and because I felt like every single car was so close to me. And on my way home, this is when I first started noticing, as time went on, I started getting more anxious to be on the road because my commute is so far. Anything can happen. Anything can happen within a 5-minute drive or an hour drive. Well, I started getting scared. I had to pull over because I was gonna cry. And I got to work, and on my way back to work, I was fine. But like I said, as time went on, I was scared for like the littlest things. And to this day, when I see something on the road, even if it's a plastic bag, if it's a plastic sandwich cup, if it's a styrofoam cup, if it's on the road in front of me and I don't see it fast enough, I start hyperventilating. Like, I get so nervous driving over anything now. And there was a point to where I started like tearing up and getting really hot, nervous. It has gotten better since then, but moral of the story, car accident trauma or car accident PTSD is a real thing. I know I'm gonna get over this one day. Like, I know eventually it's gonna get better, but if you're watching this and you are a passenger in my seat one day, please, if I'm ever getting anxious or nervous, please be peaceful. I promise you it's not gonna cause me to drive any different. At least I would hope not. It hasn't affected my driving now. But I know it's getting better. It's nothing too deep, but it is a real thing. I've had to pull over and cry my head off until I felt good enough to drive again. I remember that 2 years ago in 2019. It was crazy. And even last year, just a couple months ago, my accident, and I drove on the freeway for the first time by myself the week of Christmas, and it was okay. I was a little nervous, but it was okay. Like, I was fine. I don't let that small fear get in the way of me doing the things that I need to do. And so, yeah, those are my experiences. It's something else. But I can understand if somebody can't keep it together while driving. Yeah, I would just expect to be told. I'm sure anyone would expect to be told. But yeah, it's a real thing. It's crazy. So to anyone going through that trauma, PTSD, anxiety, whatever you prefer to call it, it's gonna get better. It always gets better. Breathe, pull over, talk about it, do what you gotta do. But I understand, and I believe it's gonna get better. So do what you gotta do. Thank you for coming to my story time. I hope you guys enjoyed in a way. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification to be notified when I upload a new video, and I will see you guys next time.